So today we are going to do lesson 5 of The Making of a Scientist. This is the last lesson in section 1. You will need to work on your test tomorrow. This is a big 100-point test, so you need to make sure you get it done. Today, obviously, you're not going to work in a group, but you're going to explain how Feynman's father used the process of scientific inquiry to teach Feynman about the world around him. Now, we haven't really talked much about how Feynman's father used the scientific inquiry process. We talked more about how he used smaller lessons to teach Feynman bigger lessons. So today we're going to get more into the scientific inquiry process. We're not going to go over this today. So, what is the scientific inquiry process? Again, it is the process of asking scientific questions. Scientists ask those scientific questions and then use the scientific inquiry process to get their answers. It's the scientific method, basically. And there are 5 steps: ask a question, engage in a process to find the answer, which is basically just an experiment. Draw conclusions, which is what answers did you get from your experiment. Develop an explanation. What do these answers mean? And then communicate and share findings with your surroundings. Now, I want to point out, draw conclusions does not literally mean to draw. It just means what was the answer of your experiment? What information did you get? So we're not going to do this. Okay, so you are part of group 3. So you're going to be working with the bird story, which is paragraphs 7 through 23. If you need to pause this so you can find your spot in the article, I would highly suggest doing so. But you can always come back to the video and find where you need to be. So let me explain what you were about to do. On Google Forms, let me get you to where you need to be. There we go. All right, you're going to use this to sort the bird story into its appropriate spots. So I'm going to use the dinosaur story as an example. So, for example, so it says sort the details of the bird story on pages 3 through 5 of The Making of a Scientist into the appropriate steps of the scientific inquiry process. If there is no example, just put none. So let's say I was using the dinosaur story, which was where they were reading the encyclopedia and learning about the dinosaur. So, step 1, ask a question. Well, did anybody really ask a question during that dinosaur story? No, they really didn't. So, I would put no example. Then engage in a process. What did they do? They read the encyclopedia. Draw conclusions. Again, didn't actually draw, but they read that the dinosaur was 25 feet tall and 6 feet across. Well, develop an explanation. What does that mean? It means that the dinosaur would be tall enough to look in through the second story window, but its head would be too big to fit in the window. And then communicate findings. Who were the 2 people communicating? It was Richard Feynman and his father. I can go ahead and tell you that's going to be the answer to your step 5. Richard Feynman and his father. So go ahead, get your bird story. Again, it's on pages 3 through 5 of The Making of a Scientist, and start sorting the details into these different categories, okay? What question was asked during the bird story? How did they get their answers? What was the answer? What was the big lesson in the bird story? So where there is blank, there will be something there to find it. And then who were the 2 people communicating? Again, that's just going to be Richard Feynman and his father. So go ahead, do that, get that turned in, and I miss you, bud. I'll see you soon.